Well, that's all the time we have this
podcast
week.
Over.
Yeah.
I had the wrong notebook. We had Pretty Kitties when what we needed was Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Never leave a trans girl alone with stationery.
Welcome to the Insignificants, the oral history of Darling Waste, episode 3, Faerie Under Finer. I'm your host, Lance, and with me is my host, Jaime. We're here to talk about Faerie Under Finer, I believe is where we're at this week.
We are. I'm quite excited. I've been waiting all of the first 3 episodes to get to the song. It's the song that somehow buried itself in my heart very early in your career.
The person this song is written about, I have known since 7th grade. We dated, we broke up, and we have remained just very, very casual, like once a year, hey, how's it going kind of friends. But we're Facebook friends, and, she has a couple kids and a husband. I have a couple kids and a wife. We say what up every now and then. We like pictures of each other's kids. Unfriended me this week. Out of nowhere. I'm pretty positive she's like, fuck, the Faerie Under Finer episode's coming up. I'm dipping. There's no way.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's just going down that track list and she knows.
Yeah. I brought in this stupid thing. That's the whole thing. I got
this. It's so frightening when I saw that.
It keeps scaring me. I will just sit a pin down too hard. Also, I did not account for the fact, well, I guess, okay, just in case this makes the podcast, I guess I will say the thing that I'm talking about is a clown carousel, or a clown, carousels go around this way.
Ferris wheel?
So, yes, a clown Ferris wheel. And it's a Halloween decoration, and I have it set to audio, so if you like clap or something, it will turn on. I did not account for the fact that I have an adult job and I'm in HR. And I had someone in my office today that we were having a pretty serious conversation, and someone came by and said, "Hey, Lance," and I went, "Hey," pretty loud, and then it just started. And it's like 90 seconds of music, and I just had to sit there and stare at this person across from my desk during a very serious conversation while like horrible clowns played music for us.
Well, so here's the question I have about it: was it intended as a Halloween decoration, or is it naturally scary, and so it just makes a good Halloween decoration?
No, it's a Halloween decoration. Every year I go crazy in our yard, and we have it grows a lot every year. We have animatronics and blow up things and spider that comes down on a web and fog and shit. And I saw this and I thought it was cool. I did not realize when we were getting it that it is not weatherproof. It's cardboard. The things that the clowns are in, the cars, are cardboard, so we can't use it outside with our decorations. So for we got it like 3 years ago, and we found that out 3 years ago when it rained and it like disintegrated. So I brought in this giant animatronic thing that plays music. But I will say, for me and anybody who knows me and like you're like, oh, there's that thing. That's fine. It's neat. People are coming in, they're taking pictures with it. They're like, can I videotape it? I'm like, sure. They're like, this is just amazing. Where did you find this? I'm like, any store. Like, any fucking store.
Kmart.
Yeah, it was probably like Walmart.com, man. So yeah, it's really funny that office culture where just like a little tiny thing like this is like the neatest fucking thing they've ever seen.
I love it. So question, normally I know we talk a lot about the song after we listen to it, but I'm wondering, because the lyrics are sort of important in this one way or another, do you want to talk a little bit about the lyrics and where it comes from before we play or after?
I have this stupid idea. This is I think this is too much.
Okay.
Where I'm like, well, maybe we go, every like verse and then we stop it and talk about it. And, but does that ruin the flow of the song?
Well, I think it would be interesting to try the chunking it and stopping and starting and see what the feedback is from the listeners on that.
Okay.
But, that'll be a nice little just change up from our first 2 episodes, if nothing else.
I got good feedback from someone. They said, "Hey, how's your podcast going?" And it was a text, and I said, "Really good. We did the first 2 episodes. We're about to do the 3rd one." And she said, "That sounds great. I'm not a podcast girly, but I hope you have fun." I was like,
"Oh, we take well wishes."
I'm like, good.
They're almost as good as listens.
Thanks for reaching out to let me know you won't be listening. I really appreciate it.
It's nice to be acknowledged.
Yeah. But before we jump into the song, real quick, we did get a voice note to play from Kevin Merrill. So we'll listen to him and then we'll, comment real quick.
I just want to throw out there a lot of thanks to you, the Lustig, for real. You definitely put in some work on a lot of my albums, a lot of my EPs, and then, Lance, you did a lot for me as well, and with 1034 Records and Foco Theory, the whole reason I got there was because you guys really did something great. I know, Lance, what you were doing, and Jaime, what you were doing, for Lance, was some real cutting edge thing for the time. Yeah, dude. Some of the craziest stuff is we had mosh pits in a VFW hall. We literally had our moms and dads, taking money at the door to make sure that we covered the rental cost of the VFW halls and whatnot like that. We were playing with bands from Michigan, with some band members from Chiodos, and we were playing with bands from South Bend, Double B, and then Deborah Breather Romer, she ruled, and went on to go do cool things, and my parents never forgot about that either, and you guys needed a place to stay, and you guys were sleeping on the kitchen floor, the living room floor. We definitely linked you guys up, which was weird. It was a MySpace era, and we were capable of getting in touch with a lot of bands at the same time, and you guys were one of the harder core bands that had done things that we were able to bring things to. But this was post show, and we got kicked out of Walmart for having a sword fight with pepperoni sticks, but then we ended up in a Kmart parking lot eating Taco Bell, laughing about how we got thrown out of a Walmart. We didn't destroy anything. We were just hooligans, and it rules. It's super cool, and I appreciate you guys. Y'all are fucking phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing, and love y'all.
So there you go, Kevin Merrill with some memories.
Yeah,
do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's really, really sweet of him, and sort of an interesting quick oral history of the entire 1034 movement, the early history of MySpace. I mean, and I will pat you and a little bit myself on the back, because really did do some innovative use of MySpace in its very early days to connect and create a bigger scene and engage with a lot of young bands out there and give them some opportunities. The platform shifted so quickly, but in those early days, it was some pretty cool stuff you were doing. So it's nice to hear somebody remember that.
So yes, I will concede your point there, and yeah, we were using it well, but I do think that what Kevin's saying too is the other side of the coin is true, where kids could just reach out to famous people. Mm-hmm. Like when we played with Dashboard Confessional, it's because we just wrote to them and said, "Hey, how can we play with you?" And they were cool with it. But that's how I met Kevin. Kevin literally just MySpaced me and said, "Hey, we're renting this VFW hall or this church basement. What would it take to get Darling Ways down here?" And we're like, "Shit, let's go do that." My first, there's no way to dance around it. My first wife, well, which I hate saying that, but
look, you and I both have them.
Yeah, it happens. She was really plugged in to being online, and it was still request only on MySpace, and she got me the request. So I was on very, very early, like, beta testing MySpace. We were also on cowboyclub.com, makeoutclub.com, vampirefreaks.com, all of these early,
now known as whitehouse.gov.
And it's crazy because, and then so I started just randomly adding people from all over, and this was before MySpace had MySpace Music by a couple years. So I made a Darling Waste personal page on MySpace and said, hey, everyone, we're not a person, we're a band. Please check us out. And we were really a really early adopter of using that platform.
Think about I don't even remember how we did the scripting on this, but we had to find these third-party music players that we would embed in our MySpace pages just to be able to play music on there, because that's really not what it was originally doing.
Yeah. So, and then I want to talk about your producing too, that Kevin mentioned. So I guess you produced some of Kevin's, he played under Dearborn. I don't know if he was at that time.
Yeah. So I know I at least mastered some of the Dearborn, which he mentioned. I can't remember, honestly, at this point in my life, how much I did other than mastering of it. But you brought me a ton of clients at every different stages of the projects. And I really appreciate you, trusting me to help these young artists, some of whom you were representing and touring with. And I met a lot of cool people. You mentioned Double B. I am still connected to the nonprofit that I work with Double B on. So, 20 years later.
What Kevin was mentioning when he said that Deborah went on to do bigger, better things, she was actually a finalist on America's Got Talent?
Yes,
I think
have
was her
shown
big thing.
Yeah, I've shown some people that. That was in her blonde hair era.
Yeah. So, that was fun, and I will probably talk about this later too, but that was fun because we, neither Double B nor Deborah started out as our opening acts on that tour. We actually had a different opening act and fell in love with Double B and literally got him to quit his job and just start opening between the two acts as an MC, and then met Deborah. Her friend Sasha brought her to a show and said, listen to this girl sing and play guitar, and just handed her a guitar and made her perform for us. Thought she was amazing. Brought her, dropped the band that we were tour as our opener, and just collected these people and had them opening for us on this tour.
But that's really quite the story, and I mean this in the most loving and sincerest of ways. That is something that's so you, that magnetism that people have always been drawn to you, and you've always networked and met all these different people and just sort of created these societies and cultures around what you're doing. You just have that part of your personality.
Yeah, I'm a socialist. That's what I do.
Is that what socialism means?
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right.
We collect weirdos and we share burritos. Yeah, you can leave comments or questions for us now on our YouTube episodes of the podcast. If you head over to our YouTube, you can pop a comment in or a question, and we'll talk about it on the next episode. You can do it under any of them because I have an alarm set that it'll tell me when someone leaves a comment, so I will find it there. I also found out, I did not know this, you can actually put comments under podcasts on Spotify as well. So either way, you can do that. If you want to talk to me directly, I'm at It's Lance Waste on Instagram. You may not talk to Jamie directly. Nope. Jamie is off limits.
Jamie's you tell me what you want. I have 70 people that work for me, and I work in a billion-dollar agency, and everybody knows I do not check my work email after work hours. I do not look at my work phone after work hours. So, nope, I am impossible to be reached. If you are not one of the 3 people who has my personal number, I will not speak to you.
I love Jamie. But one of the most frustrating things about our relationship is if it's after 9 p.m. since 2002, I have to wait till the next day.
It's so true.
It doesn't fucking matter what it is.
Lance is 100% right. Bedtime in this house, we usually start going up around 7:45. We'll get ready for bed. And by we, I don't mean like an infant child. I mean my wife and myself. And we'll get ready for bed, and we'll read in bed for a little bit, and lights out before 9. 100%.
Yeah, no, see, I'm there now, but you were there when we were in our early 20s.
I was
You've
born
always
old.
been there. But yeah, so if you want to say something to Jamie, you tell it to me and I'll let her know.
Sounds good. And then I still won't hear it until the next day.
Well, I sent Jamie a TikTok link this morning, and Jamie said, I can't open that without TikTok. I'm like, you don't have TikTok. No, and same thing. Like it's a really weird thing in my life though, because like I'm such an online social media person, and I always have been, and I never can tag you in a thing or like talk about you in a thing because you're not there.
I don't exist. All joking aside, I choose to stay far out of anyone noticing I exist whenever possible. But because of what I do for a living, have decided to be very, very silent in the public online part.
Right.
Just to know the sort of retaliation out there, and being trans as well, don't need to add any flames to that fire at the moment. That's a pretty chilling effect that's being had on our willingness to say what we really think.
Even me as a mostly straight cis white male, it's like I'm never going to say no to like everyone, but for the most part. If Matt Damon's here, we're gonna.
Thank you. I was saying to Kate the other day, Matt Damon is like probably at the top of my I'd be willing to not be gay for list.
Matt Damon can get it.
Right.
So, but anyway, even me as a father of two, cis white dude, I am the man at this point in my life, and even I am like, I should probably be careful what I say on the internet, which sucks. But I still don't. It
sucks because we're preaching about helping all people. We're not saying bad shit about people. We're saying everybody deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. And the fact that that's the speech that's being chilled, that really says something to me.
Which, by the way, and we can cut this out if you want, I wanted to broach this subject since you brought it up. This is the first time we've mentioned being a trans woman on the podcast, and I didn't want to just like jump in like Jamie trans. By the way,
it's good. I wear it on my sleeve.
Yeah, but since you said it first, I figure I could also broach the subject because I keep wanting to like share a photo or share something, and I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Please, no, absolutely. Yeah, I love my visibility. I think just simply existing in the world it does something for others in a really important way. And of course, sometimes it opens up interesting dialogues and the natural things that happen. I have a clerical who's pretty conservative, but she and I work great together. Like, I feel like that's doing something subtly there.
It is. And now they know a trans person, and it's not just a theory or a thought.
Exactly. And there's certainly other ways where I'm more vocal, and other people that choose to be more vocal. But I'm just really proud of being visible in all I do, and not trying to hide or disguise that. And answering questions for people all the time, and I've had churches ask me to come in and talk about the experience, which has been really cool to have faith communities embrace that and show that it's not one big monolithic hateful agenda going on, that there are faith communities that actually have thought a little bit about empathy and kindness.
So I'm going to briefly tell, because it's one of my favorite stories to tell, the story of when you told me you were transitioning and what I was doing in life, because I do tell the story a lot. It's one of my favorite stories. So I had a toothache, and I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, hey, we've got to do a root canal. Do you have time today to do a root canal? And I wasn't planning on it, but I said, sure, you know what, I'll do a root canal. And so the dentist came in, and they swabbed my gum to numb it. And then they came back, and they shot me full of, like, I guess, Novocaine or something. Mm-hmm. And then they stuffed cotton balls in my mouth and said, it's going to be about 5 minutes before it takes hold, and then we'll do the root canal. And then you called me, and I'm like, oh, I got 5 minutes while my mouth is numbing. I'll just say, what's up? I can't talk right now. I'm getting a root canal. And I said, hey, how's it going? And you're like, good. So I've got some news. I'm like, sure, what's up? And you're like, I'm transitioning to be a woman. And I like pulled the cotton balls out of my mouth. And I'm like, excuse me, I have to leave right now. And walked out of a dentist's office. I got my mouth
really
for no reason. I'm like, I can't bail on you during this time.
I would have accepted that we could have rescheduled for a later time.
I remember I said, hey, I'm not trying to let go right now. I definitely want to talk about this. I'm going to need like 3 minutes. And you said, okay, I said, I will call you back in like 3 minutes and we'll talk about this. And I went and found everyone. I said, there's something has come up. I have to leave. And so I got my entire mouth numbed for no reason. And then went outside and talked to you in the car. And had to reschedule because there was no way I could be like, that's crazy news. Well, bye.
Well, that's friendship. I really appreciate that from you.
So do you think we should to play a little bit, talk about it, play a little bit, talk about it?
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing to try this time.
Because I think it's true, because we do kind of like just gloss over large chunks of it and go, yeah, bass playing was weird, and then move on. So if you actually do want to hear something about the song.
Believe it or not, I've got compliments about this song.
Who the fuck has heard this song?
No, I mean, I'm complimenting.
Oh, I thought someone complimented you.
No, nobody's
There's
heard
so
the
many
song.
steps
I just
to
mean,
that.
I was sort of like picking on things on the other two songs, but I actually have some real compliments.
If I talk to God tonight, it'd be for the first time in my life, and he'd probably say to me, enough with the songs about your ex-girlfriend.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. That's enough.
Just before I start my drum fill. My air drum fill, that is.
I don't know why I started that song off with a joke. That's such a weird choice. I believe... Okay, so first off, again, soon, I promise I'm going to stop talking about my high school band, but it matters for this. So when I joined the band, I lied about my age. I was 15. I told them I was 17. They were all 17 and 18. And they had this kind of jam band Dave Matthews kind of thing going on. And then right before I joined, so their bass player went to college. And it was the summer, that he was into college. And it would have been probably 9th grade into 10th grade for me. So when I joined, their singer decided this is a good time to try to change the style of the band. So this song I wrote for this high school band. I'm trying to write a Smashing Pumpkins meets Stabbing Westward gothy rock song.
Well, that was definitely one of the things is like it felt very much of a particular time that, and my note even says, feels about 7 years too late, like in terms of the genre. But it makes sense because realistically, you wrote this about 7 years before this
song was
version
probably
came
written
out.
in like 1997 or 8. Yeah.
Right, and it very much feels like that era, and not in a bad way. I love that era. I literally was listening to Gin Blossoms earlier today, so.
All right, now we just rock for no reason.
Time only write songs with one person in mind, so I'll write this song to you, and I hope to God it'll be the last one. I hope you find someone new. I hope he takes care of you. I hope he treats you right. I hope you have a really nice life. And
I think what's immediately apparent to me is that the tempo of this song is a tempo that you didn't do a lot with later, and yet it has a really good, like, forward propulsive energy that I really like at this tempo. So I just wanted to start with that. It's one of the first things I noticed listening to this again.
And you're right. And the reason is I thought this tempo was so alt-rock, and I was so afraid of Darling Waste getting stuck in alt-rock that I purposely stayed away from these mid-tempo type songs.
Yep.
Because I was afraid of being in this genre, I will say recording-wise, I really liked You Pan so much more than I ever pan, or that most people pan. Those backing vocals were like way out in space over here, and they were crystal clear because they weren't taking up space, and I really enjoyed that.
Well, thanks. So, question: who drummed on this? I think most of this was recorded at the. I have the album.
Do you have it? Because there's 11 pages of liner notes.
I do. I can grab it if our audience won't mind a little edit.
We'll cut it out. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Because it probably says who played what. Oh, look at that.
You signed it.
Inscribed it. I'm so full of myself.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
Jaime, you are an amazing singer-songwriter. Look at you. Even knew what my name was going to be like 15 years before I changed it.
Genius.
Jaime, you are an amazing singer-songwriter, an amazing engineer, an amazing producer, an amazing friend. I know you're going to be an amazing mother. You also knew I was going to be a mom and not a dad. Your forethought was amazing. This CD would never have been possible without you. I will never forget that. Lance.
Ain't that the truth? See? And here we are 25 years later talking about it.
Still not able to forget this album. Okay, let's see. It does have for each song.
Of course it does. This is the height of me being full of myself.
Drums is E. I can barely read this with my vision. Balamic?
Balamic.
I don't know. Let me see. I have to zoom in on my phone. That is how tiny we printed these. Like, geez, did you never expect I'd have. Well, let me see if I can get it.
Who the fuck drummed on our album?
Balamic.
Man, I have no.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a session drummer they hired for us.
So let's see here. So you played guitars, bass, and vocals. I did some extra guitars, and then whoever this guy is did drums.
Huh. Well, yeah. Eric Balamic, thank you for your contribution to Darling Waste. We will add you to the growing list of people who've been in our band. I forgot you exist. I'm so sorry.
We're assuming that's his first name. It just says E.
Oh, yeah.
So, I can tell which guitars were recorded by me later and which ones were recorded at the other studio. And that was actually really interesting listening to this whole song. I was really reflecting that one of the challenges MetroSync where I worked had is that in one room where I think we did most of our tracking, we had just a whatever Mackie board straight into ADATs. We had no real outboard gear. And then we mixed all in the box in Nuendo, in the early days of Nuendo, with the most early versions of plugins when mixing in the box was still not common. And when I hear a lot of the other tracks on this song, some of the other instruments, I'm like, this was probably recorded in a studio where some of this stuff went through outboard gear before tape and has some of that extra just guts around it. And it was really a challenge throughout my whole time at MetroSync, sort of in those early days of all digital mixing, just not having the robust stuff that outboard gear would have done at that time. Things have obviously changed a lot since, but so I can definitely tell the difference on this track of which things were recorded at which studio.
I think it's fun too that songwriting wise we have that like very 90s Nirvana quiet loud thing. And I think I've done that my whole career. I think that's just something that I just was ingrained into me because of my age.
Like I listen to Matthew Good Band all the time, and every verse is just bass drums and vocals with maybe a little something in the background, and then they hit, and I just love that. I eat it up.
Yeah, it's that Pixies thing. All right, let's first chorus.
We share some cosmic bonds, a fucked up thing that's made us both crazy. And I don't know how it got to this, but I'm pretty sure how this will end. We share some cosmic bonds, a fucked up thing that's made us both crazy. And I don't know how it got to this, but I'm pretty sure how this will end.
All right. Who am I singing like? Is that Our Lady piece? Is that what that is?
There's a little bit of that, and then of course with the doubled vocals octave apart.
But that's a fucked up thing that's made us so crazy. Like,
yeah. So tell me what you think of your bass playing. I like it on this song.
I guess for this genre, this is the genre it belongs in, right? This is the. But remember, Stone Temple Pilots had that great bass player. He's one of the two brothers, I guess. Live, the band Live had that kind of same thing.
Absolutely.
This kind of has a live feel, and I'm kind of singing like the dude from Live a little bit too, right?
Yeah. Ed Kowalczyk.
Well, yeah, sure. I always say Kowalczyk, but I always let people's names get away from me. So yeah, Jesus Christ, we share some cosmic. It's because I didn't know I was going to be singing it, right? This was for this guy, and he would sound cool singing this.
Well,
he
and
had better voice. It's
really interesting. Like, it's a really hooky chorus, but I can't say I love the lyrics, and yet it works in its own way in the genre.
it's so weirdly wordy. Like, I'm not sure how this will end. Like, all right, whatever.
That's
all right,
also very much those vocal patterns from back then.
Yeah.
Where you could
Yeah, and that's
Candlebox, you could hear.
Okay, second verse is only a half verse. And then it goes into a very long, I guess I have it as a pre-chorus, but I suppose it's the bridge, because there is no bridge.
I had it listed as a bridge, but yeah.
Yeah, so, all right. I will say this over and over and over. Second verses are the bane of my existence for my entire career. They're the thing that I write last. I often write them in the studio if I write them at all. Sometimes I just freestyle second verses, and I'm like, fucking good enough. This definitely has all the earmarks of that. This second verse is rough. Here we go.
You know I'm happy now. I found a girl who really makes me smile, and I think when the time is right, the two of us will probably get married.
Smile. I happy now and makes me smile. It's like that's the worst slant ever.
Just the whole thing lyrically is like, this is what a 14-year-old writes as lyrics. Like the rest of it is stronger, but that one's a little...
and now this could be pound for pound the worst lyrics ever coming up right here.
Yes, but let me say, I do like that it's a half verse. I think that lends the song a nice structure.
Right, but except for what I take out is for 30 seconds, 40 seconds of weird teenage horror movie pre-chorus. So here we go.
But I can't sleep for dreaming about you, hovering over my bed and smiling at me as you slit your wrist, and I go blind from all the blood you shed.
Lyrically, the worst.
And yet, I love it.
But also, man, I cannot believe my vocal performance on that. All the blood you shed is like it's very like Dave Matthews or something. Like skibbity bop you shed. Like it's so weird. Thank
goodness you didn't have a violin.
Now, pre-chorus, or I guess bridge part 2, which is the faded memories linger like your fairy under my finger. Here we go. Oh, that bass run is the worst bass run in the history of bass runs. Hold on. Here it is.
Faded memories still linger like your fairy under my finger. Faded memories still linger like your fairy under my finger.
All right, back to the rock riff. Okay, so time to embarrass myself. This is not me. See, I thought this would be a podcast where I get to talk about myself and be like, look how cool I am for a year. But instead, it's just self-flagellating. Do you know what the lyrics "faded memories still linger like your fairy under my finger" mean? What that's referencing?
What I remember is that the fairy is a tattoo.
It is. I have a fairy tattoo on my hip.
Okay.
That this girl in high school convinced me to get matching tattoos to prove that I liked her. And she chose fairies. So I have a fairy tattoo on my hip.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's that's going into the rock riff now, and then we go back to the intro. So here we go.
Tonight, it'd probably tell me get on with my life, but how can I keep moving forward when I'm constantly looking back?
Now, a couple things to pay attention to the ending here. Coming back in is the sloppiest I've ever heard a band come back in.
Oh, I have that written down.
I don't know why we couldn't. I guess this is before time correcting, and I guess we just didn't have the budget. But every single person, me, and the drummer.
I wonder if I fixed that on a remix I did about 10 years ago of this song. I'll have to go back and...
I don't know, but boy, it's rough. And then the other thing I want you to listen for, right? So it's chorus 2, then chorus 3 with some 90s riffing, and then the instrumental chorus towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
The song isn't sure what chord pattern we should be playing, because there's 2 chord patterns. There's the chorus chord pattern, and it's not that. And then there's the riff, and it's not that. It's the riff chords in the rhythm of the chorus chord pattern.
Do we know that and do that intentionally?
I think I actually have a really weird memory of having to write down, like, make sure you switch to those chords, because I think when I cut it at the other place, I just fucked it up, and we had to just live with it because those were the guitars. Oh. So then when we went to go play it, we're like, it is what it is, and we just like jammed this weird third part that was never in the song.
You're inventive.
Yeah. Out of not knowing how songs work yet. So, all right, here's the rest of the song. All right, one more time when they come back in.
We share some cosmic bonds, a fucked up thing that's made us both crazy. And I don't know how it got to this, but I'm pretty sure how this will end. We share some cosmic bonds, a fucked up thing that's made us both crazy. And I don't know how it got to this, but I'm pretty sure how this will end.
I accidentally set off the
I see it going.
Clowns by laughing too hard. I laughed too hard at myself, and I turned the clowns on.
Okay, yeah, you do turn clowns on. Sorry, I had to make the joke.
This is another thing, not to stop every 2 seconds. Another thing that you know it's not a Darling Way song, because I'm doing the Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam, like, sing part of it, then go, yeah. Like, that's definitely was for, and that's something that our singer did all the time.
And of that era, that mid to late 90s when it was written.
Also, I have a memory of this, and it was probably pre-knowing you. When I was writing this, at the end there, where I say, like, we share some cosmic bond, we share, or whatever, the original lyrics, I say, and I'm pretty sure this will end, and then I was going to go, with one of us dead, we share some cosmic bond, with one of us dead, and I think it was my mom, who I was in high school, who was like, no, you cannot be like, one of us is going to fucking die at the end of the, no. Like, she, like, hard was like, you're not allowed to do that. So
I think that was an okay call. I'm not sure that would have enhanced the song any.
It doesn't hurt it either, though. It's a lateral move.
Fair.
We share some cosmic bond, yeah. We share some cosmic bond, yeah. We share some cosmic bond. We share some cosmic bond.
Yeah, so right here, you actually hear the bass start playing the riff. But then the band doesn't play the riff, and then we also aren't playing the chords.
So I will say, I made some notes the first time I listened to this about how I might like edit and shorten the song a little bit. And this time I might change my mind from it, but I wonder if in that leaving sort of the quiet part and then there's that horrific fill where none of us can come in at the same time. I wonder if we needed to do half of the full chorus, then half of your chorus with the yeahs, and then go into the outro rather than doing like a full double chorus and then that outro.
It's funny you mentioned that because the first question I have is the song too long for Jamie?
Yes, it is.
When and where it was recorded, this was a hybrid recording. This is one of the first 5 Darling Waste songs recorded. Who played on it? Some dude we just found out named like Eric Bellamy or something.
E. Baltomic.
E. Baltomic. We will find. It's my fucking job in life this week to find E. Baltomic and get a note from him. Get an audio note.
Drumhead.
I just want to know his experience with Darling Waste. Apparently, you played some guitars on this as well to try to cover up some of the rough spots, probably, I'm guessing, or make the choruses bigger. Is that what you think your job was?
I don't know. I certainly know which one is me. I can tell from the way I played it, but I don't know if you wrote the riff, if I wrote the riff, if I was just doubling stuff. I'd have to go back to maybe the raw separate tracks to figure some of that out.
How was it received? It was really well liked by like 5 people. It was liked too well by 5 people.
One of those 5 is sitting here in the podcast.
It's not forgotten enough. But for the most part, forgotten. But every now and then, like I said, I think we had talked about it. I don't know if I kept it in on the last. I tried to cut us talking about it off the last podcast so it wouldn't get repetitive. But as I said, on a lot of our shows when we headline, we had that one spot for a request song, sometimes 2 spots for a request song, and every 100th show, someone would be like, "Come on, play Faerie Under Finer," and I'm like, "No." So I think so one of the questions is, do we play it live? And maybe on the first tour. Do you think we played this live on the first tour? Do you remember playing this?
Did. So somewhere in my garage is buried all of my Darling Waste notes from every single album, chord charts and riff charts and set lists. So I'll try to dig those out once I have access to my full garage.
So I know twice someone yelled out, "Can you play this?" And the band couldn't, but I tried to just like get a guitar and play it. And both times I had to just give up because I don't know the riff and I couldn't remember the words. So after that was one of the songs that when someone did say, "Can you play?" I'd be like, "No, next." So we just stopped. We refused. So no. After the first tour, we never played it again. I think I might have played it twice, attempted. I know for sure once in Andrews, South Carolina. I have a very vivid memory of the show going fucking perfect. Just one of the better early shows. And
do you think there's any songs from any of the records that have never been played live?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure the last record.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've got to listen to that more. I apologize. I have not put in the time on that. So it'll be good doing it when we get to that podcast.
Off this record, I would say Some Comfort Here has never been played live. I would be very surprised. That's probably the only one. So that's all I have for this song. Anything else you want to tie a bow on Faerie Under Finer forever? Never talk about it ever again? Until we rank the songs?
I say, and I do a form of Darling Waste cover band and then play that as our only song in every set.
God. What if like when this podcast finishes, we do the podcast tour where we only play the voted worst 10 worst Darling Waste songs?
Amazing. Yes.
It's like the shit no one asked for tour. Like,
yes. I think that's great.
So all right. Recommendations, I guess, now, and then we're out of here.
Well, just rewatched the movie Weird, the Al Yankovic story, and it really holds up on second watch, so definitely recommend that. It follows essentially the beats of his life, but it's a farce of itself, but in a way that is so self-serious.
That's really fun.
It's brilliant, and Daniel Radcliffe is just phenomenal.
So my rec this week is just Allister Stolas. He's who I played with in West Virginia 2 weeks ago.
Quite a while.
First show since me and you played a show.
Oh my gosh.
The last time I played a show was with you in New York City 2 years ago. 2 years ago this month.
That. Yeah. Right?
And then the last time I played a solo show was probably 6-8 months prior to that. So almost 3 years since I played a solo show. I went down to West Virginia. So originally, what it is, it's the 20th anniversary of Manifest Destiny Rebellion. I decided I should play a couple shows at least, right? Like, since we're not doing anything. And so it was supposed to be a weekend. It was supposed to be West Virginia night 1, or Cleveland night 1, West Virginia night 2, Pittsburgh night 3. The Cleveland and the Pittsburgh show both got moved. So now it's 3 random dates on 3 random months. So not
exactly
quite
what you were trying to put together.
Yeah. Even I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, I'll just do Darling Waste for 1 weekend, put it away for a couple more years. I'm like, just kidding. It gets spread out over like a fucking season now.
Crazy 20 years of Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
So Allister Stolas, he's who I played with in West Virginia 2 weeks ago. He got me the show. Really great guy. Really cute. He listened to Darling West was like 13 or something, and he's this like 35-year-old guy now, or 30-year-old guy out there doing what we used to do. He's touring constantly down in Florida at Bike Week right now, doing shit and like just constantly road warrior. But it was really funny because he's like, big dude with a big beard and like the biker jacket, and like, he sings kind of like not quite outlaw country, but it's in that vein. Yeah. And I was unloading, and he like saw the acoustic case and was like, oh, is that the same acoustic that you had 20 years ago? I'm like, yeah, that's my acoustic. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I haven't seen it up close before. And like, it was just really funny to see this guy just like nerding out over it. And he was like crying during the set and like crying afterwards and stuff. But yeah, so his stuff's really cool. Allister Stolas is his name. You can check him out on where things are streamed. I guess I'll plug, if you're going to be in the Ohio area for Thanksgiving at all, the next show and the only other show in Ohio ever is Black Friday, November 28th at Berea at the Front Street Social. I've never been there. I've heard it's also like a listening room, kind of like have a nice drink and sit and listen to the artist kind of thing. The great thing about this one is they're like, so you think 9 o'clock or so? And I'm like, yeah. Then I sent them the flyer, and they're like, how about 6 o'clock? I'm like, thank you. They took a look at us and they're like, oh, this is a 20th anniversary thing. How about a little earlier, buddy? I'm like, thank you. So yeah, doors are at 6 on that. I believe it's free. I
love it. I love it.
But yeah, that's it for this week, man. We got through another one. We're still alive.
Love it. Thank you so much for including me in this trip down memory lane.
Next week, candidate for worst Darling Waste song of all time, Nothing Special, right? That's the next one.
And that's literally a self-describing title.
It's awful. It has a horrible, unplanned tempo change between verse and chorus. It has repetitive, awful guitar chord patterns. Some of the worst lyrics I've ever written. It's way too broad. It's Matchbox 20 light. It is the worst of Darling Waste.
Well, I mean, what an amazing selling point for the next episode.
So come back, watch us make fun of it. Maybe I'll get some more voice notes from people. I'm just like reaching out to random people. I'm like, hey, we're in this era of Darling Waste. Do you want to talk about it at all? So we'll see what I come up with.
Perfect.
So awesome. Thank you, Jamie. I will see you next time, and have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.